Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to teach you about one tiny word that can completely transform how polite and natural you sound in English, and that word is just. When you add just to your sentences, you soften your tone, you sound less demanding, and you come across as more considerate and friendly. The difference between saying "I want to ask a question" and "I just wanted to ask a question" is huge. The first one sounds direct and maybe a bit pushy, while the second one sounds polite and humble. By the end of this lesson, you're going to understand exactly how to use just to make your English sound more natural and more polite. This is honestly one of the easiest ways to improve how you come across in conversations. Let's get started. All right, so what does just actually do to your sentences? The word just acts as a softener. It makes your requests, your questions, and your statements sound less aggressive and more casual. It signals to the listener that what you're asking for is small, not a big deal, or that you're being humble and not demanding. Let me give you a quick example. Imagine you need to ask your boss a question. If you walk up and say, "I want to ask you something," it sounds pretty direct, almost like you're demanding their attention. But if you say, "I just wanted to ask you something," it sounds so much more polite and considerate. That one word makes all the difference. The reason this works is because just minimizes the request. It's like you're saying, "This is only a small thing," or "I don't want to bother you too much." It creates a friendlier, more collaborative tone. Native speakers use just constantly in everyday conversation because it keeps things polite without being overly formal. It's one of those small words that has a huge impact on how you're perceived. One of the most common ways to use just for softening is with the phrase, "I just wanted to." This is incredibly useful for making requests, asking questions, or bringing up topics in a gentle way. For example, instead of saying, "I want to check if you received my email," you say, "I just wanted to check if you received my email." The second version sounds less pushy and more polite. Here's another one. Instead of, "I want to follow up on our meeting," you say, "I just wanted to follow up on our meeting." It sounds more casual and less demanding. You can use this in all kinds of situations. "I just wanted to let you know I'll be a few minutes late." "I just wanted to see if you need any help." "I just wanted to say thank you for your help yesterday." In all of these, "just wanted to" makes you sound thoughtful and polite. This works in professional settings too. If you're emailing a colleague, you might write, "I just wanted to touch base about the project timeline." It's friendly and non-threatening. The phrase, "I just wanted to," is so natural and so common that once you start using it, you're going to hear it everywhere. Another powerful way to use just is when you're making quick or small requests. Adding just signals that what you're asking for won't take much time or effort. For example, instead of saying, "Can you send me the file?" you say, "Can you just send me the file?" The word just makes it sound like a quick, easy task. Here are more examples. "Could you just give me a hand with this?" "Can you just check if this looks okay?" "Would you just let me know when you're free?" In all of these, just makes the request feel smaller and less burdensome. You can also use just when you're asking for clarification. "I just need a quick clarification on this point." "I just have one quick question." It shows that you're not going to take up much of their time. In meetings, you might say, "I just want to add one thing before we move on." It's polite and it signals that you'll be brief. The key here is that just makes your requests feel more reasonable and less demanding. It's a way of being considerate of the other person's time and energy. Just is also really useful when you need to interrupt someone or get their attention without being rude. It helps minimize the impact of the interruption. For example, if you need to interrupt a conversation, instead of saying, "I have a question," you say, "Sorry, I just have a quick question." The just makes it clear that you're aware you're interrupting and you'll be brief. You can also use it when asking for someone's time. Instead of "Can I talk to you?" you say, "Can I just talk to you for a minute?" It sounds less imposing. In emails, if you're reaching out to someone busy, you might write, "I just wanted to reach out quickly," or "I'm just checking in." It shows you're being respectful of their time. Another common use is when you're asking someone to wait. Instead of "wait a second," you say, "just give me 1 second." It sounds more polite and less commanding. The pattern here is that "just" acknowledges that you're asking for something and you want to be considerate about it. It's a small courtesy that makes a big difference in how you're perceived. Sometimes you use "just" to downplay or minimize what you're saying, especially when you're being modest or when you don't want to make a big deal out of something. For example, if someone compliments your work, instead of just saying "thanks," you might say, "Oh, I was just doing my job," or "I just wanted to help." It's a humble response. Or if someone asks what you're doing and you don't want to make it sound important, you might say, "I'm just working on some emails," or "I'm just finishing up a report." The "just" makes it sound casual and not a big deal. You can also use "just" when you're explaining your intentions to make them sound less significant. "I was just thinking out loud," or "I was just curious." It softens the statement and makes it less formal. In social situations, if someone thanks you for something, you might say, "No problem, I was just happy to help." It's warm and humble. The downside of overusing "just" in this way is that it can sometimes make you sound less confident, especially in professional settings where you want to own your achievements. So use it strategically, but know that it's a very natural part of everyday English. Let's do some direct comparisons so you can really hear the difference. I'm going to say 2 versions of the same sentence, one without "just" and one with "just," and you'll hear how much softer the second version sounds. "I wanted to ask if you're free tomorrow," versus "I just wanted to ask if you're free tomorrow." The second one sounds more polite. "Can you help me with this?" versus "Can you just help me with this real quick?" The second one feels like a smaller request. "I'm letting you know the meeting is canceled," versus "I just wanted to let you know the meeting is canceled." The second one sounds more considerate. "I have one question," versus "I just have one quick question." The second one minimizes the interruption. "I'm checking in on the project," versus "I'm just checking in on the project." The second one sounds more casual and friendly. Do you hear how much softer and more polite the versions with "just" sound? That's the power of this one little word. Now, there are times when you should not use "just," because it can make you sound less confident or less assertive than you need to be. If you're stating your opinion firmly, or if you're in a situation where you need to be direct, adding "just" can undermine your message. For example, if you're giving your professional opinion in a meeting, don't say, "I just think we should reconsider this approach." Say, "I think we should reconsider this approach." The "just" makes it sound like you're unsure. Similarly, if you're setting a boundary or saying no, don't soften it with "just." Instead of, "I just can't take on any more projects right now," say, "I can't take on any more projects right now." Be clear and firm. And in formal writing like academic papers or official reports, "just" can sound too casual. Stick to more formal language in those contexts. The key is to use "just" when you want to be polite and considerate, but not when you need to be confident and assertive. Quick recap. The word "just" is a powerful softener in English. It makes your requests sound more polite, your questions less demanding, and your tone more friendly. Use "I just wanted to" for polite requests. Use "just" with small requests to make them feel easier. Use "just" when interrupting to minimize the impact. Use "just" to downplay and be humble. But don't use "just" when you need to sound confident and assertive. It's a small word that makes a huge difference. You did great today. Adding "just" to your vocabulary is one of the easiest ways to instantly sound more polite and natural in English. If this lesson helped you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on speaking natural English. Leave a comment and write a sentence using just the way we practiced today. I want to see what you come up with. Remember, small changes in how you speak can make a big difference in how you're perceived. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep sounding more natural every day. I'll see you in the next lesson. Take care.